Welcome to the 2018 District 1 Duals first round. I am Matt Torresani, here to broadcast tonight's match against the number 4 seed Boyertown Bears and number 13 Great Valley Patriots. We are starting off tonight at 182 pounds, and this is a nice match tonight because you have a regional qualifier in Ethan Seeley, and you have Miller coming in here, Jacob Miller, also, fired and ready to take on this big match. It's probably the biggest match, to be honest, of the dual meet right now because, as their sole regional qualifier, they're out here to try to get Seeley some really good matches, and that's really the goal of District Duals at this point for, coming in as the 13 seed against number 4 seed is to try to get your guys to that next level and ready for the postseason tournament. Jacob Miller, currently ranked number 3 in the district, and Seeley number 4. He's in on that single there. He's low, and Seeley has a nice whizzer right now near the edge of the match. See if he can stay out of trouble here. He brings him back to the center of the mat, which looks just calm and patient right now. He knows he has a lot of clock left, and he doesn't need to necessarily rush anything. But Seeley looks flexible and strong here, so this will be interesting to see. They both look very unfazed by this situation. Seeley stays on his feet, and Miller tries to come down, come across to that back, come around to the backside and collect ankles, but Seeley collapses on top of him there and holds him with a shin whizzer and does a beautiful job to get that stalemate there till the referee blew that whistle there. And you got Walt Cannon out there. He's been doing this a long time. He has yelled at me quite a few times. I'm very familiar with Walt. Nice guy, great guy. Been doing this a long time. So here we go. We got 28 seconds left, and Seeley needs to get busy hands and start pumping the engine because he's going to want to push this pace here. That's why you're here. You're here to push the pace, to get after it, and compete as hard as you can. Good little flurry there, and they're out of bounds. Miller kind of fooling around with the second headgear they just brought out for him. Feeling out positions. We have short time here. We got under 10 seconds, and we got a 0-0 match as of right now, and playing that out of bounds line at the end. This will be a big choice here, so he's going to go right to the bottom. Like I had talked about earlier with Glenn Kaiser, you want to get those first points in tight matches because, especially at the district, regional, state level, if it goes into overtime, there very well could be an ultimate ride out, and you want that choice at that point. Seeley does a nice job bringing him back to the mat, trying to ride as tight as he can here. Miller just looks strong, right back to his feet. He's got a 2-on-1. Seeley, kind of just takes that 2-on-1, steps out front, knee over knee, and brings him back to the mat there. We are 40, we're not even 20 seconds into this period, and he's gotten to his feet twice, so expect him to just kind of keep working that, and he clears really nicely there, and Seeley comes down to that little thigh pride to collects wrists. Top wrestling has changed in the past 10 years or so, I've noticed, and it's a lot busier, a lot more tilts, and when we watched the last match in Chamonix and Rustin, you saw a lot of hazard tilts, and I know Great Valley likes similar style, and that's part of that Ches-Mont culture, and they love to run that. We got a stall call in red here early from Walt. Doesn't think Miller must be doing too much, so he calls a stall call on him, and Seeley's doing a great job. He's ridden now for a minute, and Miller's just stalling green now. They each have a stall call. That might have been a little quick there. Seeley's it's about the attempts at that point, and it was quick, but I know a lot of times referees want to even it up, and that might have been a little fast, but it is what it is at this point. 46 seconds to go here in the first period, and Seeley's been riding tough so far. Miller up to his feet. does a nice job and gets out with 40 seconds left on the clock. Sealy's going to want to push the pace here now. He's going to want to kind of maybe try to get Miller back on his feet and set up a third period where he can go down and kind of maybe have him a little tired so he can get out. But, you know, Miller just looks calm, cool, and collected. Sealy fires off a shot there, and Miller parries it pretty easily and had that underhook, but Sealy did a good job getting his arm above his head and back through. So, you know, they're back in a normal here, collar tie, playing with some wrists. Good snap out of Miller. Oh, man, he runs out of the gym on that. That was a nice snap there. You got to be ready for that. These guys can fire from anywhere at Boyertown. I mean, they know what they're doing. They've been good for quite a few years now, and that practice room has to be unbelievable. He's got that, like, not a full key lock over top, not a legal key lock, but that Russian that you kind of come over top the wrist there. One of my favorite setups, and probably try to work out off that as when he comes back. Sealy chooses bottom. Try and tie this up here at one apiece with an escape. Kind of that new tripod, not new, but, you know, a lot of kids are just going right to that tripod instead of your traditional clear stand-up, and Sealy's out quickly with one. Miller's working that he's got opposite head and a underhook, and he fired off a shot there. Now he's got a body look, and Sealy's trying to push off his hip, trying to keep his hips away from his. He's got to be careful here on the edge, though. Don't let down. Don't stop wrestling just because you're near the edge of the mat. You also have a stall call, and you got to be careful that he does a good job trying to circle back in. You don't want the ref to think that you're just trying to push out of a position, especially, you know, when the refs aren't afraid to knock you for stalling there. There he goes. He went back. Miller goes back to that rush in the start. And Sealy fires off a great reshot. He still has a whizzer. And he let go of the whizzer for two. Great reshot out of Miller there. That was nice work, and that's constant. That's just practice room. You know, you and your buddies are going hard in the practice room and firing off shots at one another and recognizing that there's that opportunity to score when a guy fires off a missed shot. Up to his feet, Sealy. You know, he gets out here. He puts himself within one, and that motor's got to get going here. Back to his feet for one. Sealy. Looks like he's got double overs here, and you know that's a good position if you know what you're doing, but if you don't, you're just kind of in an awkward spot with the position you're pretty uncomfortable with, and he drags him out of bounds a little bit there and wants to reset back at the line. You know, Miller's probably very comfortable there. He gets that underhook, drives in on a single leg, stays on his knees. Can he collect the other ankle? He's just jumping around the mat now, doing a great job, and that's exactly what you do there. You got to come right to your feet and try to collect ankles if you're Sealy. And, hey, he's got 20 seconds now to really pick up the pace here. That was good D out of Miller. Guy goes back to that same little thing and see if he can, like, drag him out here. And he's got 12. Gets in. He's got to clear that arm before he hits that or try to hit some sort of dump. Come over tight and hit a dump. Or it's hard when you're reaching on a guy like Miller. That's a nice match to start off this dual meet. Miller picks up a 3-2 decision against Sealy, and I'm excited to see that one again when they wrestle against each other at regionals, hopefully. You know, Sealy, that's a good improvement match for Sealy. He sees what he needs to do now, and, you know, that's, like I said earlier, that's why we do this. That's why we come out here. That's why we wrestle these matches, so you know what you need to do at the next level. Next match, 195 pounds. You have Elijah Jones for Boyertown and Andrew DeSanto for Great Valley. I actually coached DeSanto's older brother, Matt, one year when I was assistant at Great Valley. So I know the DeSanto family. So, you know, Elijah Jones is another level right now, and he's a beast at 195. And that's a great weight class to be a beast at, because when you're this athletic at 195, you're not always seeing kids nearly as athletic as you are, and you can really tear it up, and you have opportunities to work on some cool stuff. And he just launches them up there, double unders, picks them off his feet, puts him right to the mat. That very easily could have been a feet-to-back situation. Jones is working wrists. Now he's kind of got off that, wanting that cross-face cradle, and he's long and strong, and he's gonna lock that up. Let's see if he turns him here. Look how calm he is. He just looked at the camera. He's on his back now, and pin for Elijah Jones. That looked like another day at the office for Elijah Jones. That was almost scripted. It was that nice. So pick up for 6 there, Elijah Jones. We got 9-0 Boyertown against the Patriots of Great Valley. Next we have sophomore Tyler Humphreys at 220 and Jacob Sonder, Zachary Reck for the Boyertown Bears. Get right in on a single, beautiful single, takes him down, and this is a big night for Great Valley. As a 13 seed and wrestling a squad like Boyertown has to be a little bit intimidating. He goes right for that butcher, gets a 1 count. He's gonna try to just pull that back and hopefully pick up. Now he still has those 2 arms tight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to that same situation. Throws in a leg. You don't see that too much at 220 as much as you would think, and he's got legs and then whacks across face there. And I love some physical wrestling. Nothing wrong with a little bit of physicality when you're out there. Higher level wrestling's physical. Got to have heavy hands, and that's what this sport's about, being physical and aggressive. And clears out of that leg. I guess he didn't want to be there anymore, and he cuts Humphreys, but right back on top of him, so they aren't really going to escape yet. He didn't clear the room. Goes for that little cement mixer. Let's see if he can get it. Humphreys trying to stay strong here. And beautiful transition wrestling. Couldn't get it. Goes to a tripod, throws in a cradle. Still had control, so not a new 2 or anything, but let's see if he can pick up any backs on the edge of the mat with the new out-of-bounds rules adopted this year by the PIAA, and this could very well be a 6 points situation for Boyertown as Walt Cannon counts off those back points. Out of bounds, and Rec picks up 3 near fall points, so we have a 5-0 match right now with 18 seconds left to go in the first period. Right to that claw and inside die pry, if you will, or like claw spiral. And you see a lot of guys doing higher level wrestling, just throwing that claw in with short time left, trying to ride it out, and he's doing a beautiful job of just staying tough, staying behind, not getting crazy fancy, but just being strong. Wreck defers. Humphrey goes back down to the bottom. Tripod position. Rec knocks him back down to the mat there, and he is way in control of this match right now. You can see he knows what he wants to go for, and he's going for it. Nothing's going to stop him. And he's got that little bow and arrow cradle. He's trying to lock up. Throws in a. Now he's got. Let's see if he can get him here. Got that Turk leg in nicely. Try to get more ankle to ankle there and get it higher to the ceiling, frame to face. But get that hand outside, and he's coming up on some back soon here. Get that thing up high to the sky. That's 2. He collected right there. That's a nice job out of Rec to collect 2 back points there. Minute to go in the second here, and it's been pretty one-sided with Rec being well in control of this match so far. You look at Boyertown over the last 5-10 years, and you just see a culture of wrestlers who want to be out there, who want to be aggressive, who want to be physical. One thing I've always noticed when, Radnor, obviously not quite at Boyertown level, but, we go to districts with them, and you just see their team culture, too. Their parents in the stands, the kids pulling for each other, watching each other's matches, cheering for each other. It's not just about themselves. And, you could be really, really good and in the sport just all about you. But at Boyertown, that is not the culture that they have groomed there. And I think that's one of the coolest things that I've seen out of them is that team mentality. And it's good when they keep coming out here and wrestling tough at these types of events and building that team culture. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the sport's about that. It's not just the individual. Got a stall call here on green, so another point for Rec. Short time here in the second, and it'll be Rec's choice going into the third period. He's going to choose bottom, try to work from every position here, and it's quick to his feet. Feet and patience here. Just watch hips and stall call. Green, he's calling these quick tonight. That is another stall call on Humphreys, and that is a fairly quick stall call. So we got an escape neutral there. There was a little flurry towards the edge of the mat. Got him in an overhook here. Kind of bumps it up to that snatch single. Body lock, little right to a nice little takedown there. And we got 12-0. I'm sure he's going to be working for a tech fall or a pin here. Notice keeps his head on the mat, and that's just tough. It's hard to want to stay out there when you're constantly getting your head buried into a mat. I wouldn't know. I was always out off the bottom, but I could imagine it would not be fun to have your head constantly buried in a mat. And he cuts him, tries to get another takedown. Good job at the edge of the mat, at least being aggressive. And Humphrey's going to need to find some magic if he wants to do anything here in this match at this point. And Zach Reck has been impressive so far, 220 pounds. Another takedown here. Cuts him again, but not quite. Little chin whip over and out of bounds. Got that Humphreys got that underhook. I'm sure Reck's going to try to get one more here with 30 seconds left. Otherwise, would feel a little bit unsatisfactory to not go out in the top position, I think. He's in on that single. Humphreys is fighting here. He steps around the ankle and comes to a claw. Collects two. Puts him on his back. That is... And a pin with 7 seconds left in the third period to pick up the fall. And that's just patience, smarts, and good wrestling. All right, we have what should be a decent match here at heavyweight. You have Jacob Sonder for Boyertown. Saunders a junior at 10-11. You have an honorable mention, Tyler Rafferty, senior at 18-3. So it's another good match for Gray Valley. Why they came in here tonight to try to get Lafferty, some good laps in here in the circle. So we'll see what he can do here. He's trying to bury his head. Saunders a little bit smaller, as you can tell, in terms of weight. So let's see if Lafferty can use that advantage. Going to have a lot of pummeling here. It's going to be two bears, so to speak, although Boyertown Bears going after it here. It's got that. Both of them just have, alternating collar ties here, inside control a little bit. Lafferty doing a lot of pushing in on that rush, and his Boyertown heavyweights and big guys seem to be working a nice rush and tie there, and one of my favorites, and you don't see it as much as you used to, but it's still very effective if you can use it right. If you look at Great Valley over the past couple years, it is huge what Mike Seymour is doing at Great Valley, and the progress and improvement that his team has made in a short amount of time is truly tremendous. And hats off to him, because what he's taken this team to in that short amount of time, from not even full lineups and a couple losing seasons to 13th seed at District Duals, and kind of kids really wrestling tough for him. You can see the respect there that they have for him is tremendous to see from a program like Great Valley, when last time they really saw a flash of greatness was in 2010, before they had things kind of came crashing down on them a little bit there. They had some great wrestlers those years, really great wrestling those years under Joe Tornetta. But Mike Seymour, former Conestoga head coach, has done some tremendous things for this program, and it can only get better from here for him. So, like I said, hats off to Mike Seymour. Second period here, and we're 30 seconds in, and Lafferty's just using that size to his advantage. Lafferty tried to get back around here. He came out way too far. He's got to be careful because his hands are still on the mat. You don't want to lock there. And one escape for Sonder here. On the other side, you got Dave Jones. Dave Jones took over this year. Young guy. He's doing a great job with the program already. And that's wonderful to see. I'm sure he's, you're not going to change the recipe if it's working. I'm sure he's just going to carry on the tradition and what they do every day in the practice room. Now, I'm obviously not there, but I could imagine that, the machine's not broken, so there's no need to fix it. And you can see that with the way they're wrestling. I mean, they wrestled a great match the other night, and they're just rolling right now, which is great to see. "15 seconds left here in the second period. We have your traditional heavyweight 1-0 match off a stand-up in the second period, and I would not be shocked to see Lafferty choosing bottom here in the third. Great Valley's choice. It's going to go bottom, just as predicted. I should have called the Eagles Super Bowl. But here we go. Third period. It's a big period here at heavyweight. Got to have a gas tank. Got to be smart wrestler. Those two things are important. Looks like he's looking for a fat man roll there, but he just comes to his feet instead. Sonder was smart about it. Pushes him out. It's tough when you're a little bit undersized. Really like a 220-pounder and wrestling up here. So, smart, let him go. And go for the takedown here. And try to wrestle on your feet. Both buried in deep here, 30 seconds in. We got a 1-1 match. Looking for a shrug here. Goes for it, but doesn't yield much results. Both guys maintaining good stance, good position. Head fake there for Sonder. Lafferty starting to get a little heavier on his head, doing a little more pushing. Got to be careful coming straight in, though, because, Boyertown knows how to move, and if you're pushing in too laterally or too, north-south, you're got to be careful of them being quick, and they know how to wrestle. I mean, that practice room has to be unbelievable. So, Sonder's getting good looks. I'm sure he wrestles with Elijah Jones a lot, and Zach Reck every day, and you know, he knows what he's doing. In on a front head and arm, he's got it locked up underneath that chin there, and close to the edge, but he's got to try to score this. We got 40 seconds, see what he can do here. Just keep snapping him and extending him. Come around, he puts him. Can he get him on his back? He does. He's getting swipes here, at least 2, and he comes back around. He's going to get the 2-point near fall. That was great work out of Lafferty. Kind of get that head underneath, snap it. Tighten up that front head and arm. Locking his hands underneath the chin there to kind of get that pressure on the head and turning it at least enough for some backs there. And it's a nice pickup for Great Valley here with 9 seconds left. Lafferty did a great job. He wrestled through the whole third period, and he was able to get it done. And that's beautiful for Great Valley to get a nice victory here at 285. So good job. Good job to Lafferty there. We're going into 106 pounds here. Back around to the light weights. You're going to see Ken Levin for Great Valley, 16-9, freshman. And honorable mention, Julian Maldonado for Boyertown, 21-7 right now. And 21-7 with the Boyertown schedule is one impressive record for a freshman. So here we go. He's right in on that double. Beautiful, beautiful takedown. Takes 2 hands, puts it on the other side of his head. He's going to, you know, you want to try to get your legs out just like that, and you got to be careful here. Faces him. He's in a front head and arm position here, and he's still in control, so, you know, really no rush except to get back around and start trying to score from the top position. Got 1 escape neutral for Levin, so we got a 2-1 match right now. Let's see if Levin can respond to a quick takedown like that. And beautiful setup there, and inbounds, small space, and picks up a takedown. Levin does a nice job maintaining that forward motion after the takedown. If you get taken down and you're able to keep pushing forward, push forward, a lot of times you'll kind of escape what could have been more tragedy there in terms of back points or getting caught underneath and not being able to get back up to your base, because I'm sure Maldonado can ride pretty well here. Little headlock attempt out of Levin. Let's see if he can get it, but Maldonado kind of grabs that back ankle, secures his own hips, and Levin just didn't have the strength to turn him over. He's riding a little cross wrestle 2-on-1. Staying tough on top here with short time. You don't want to give up an escape here. You want to keep this score 6-2. He scoops that back ankle, makes it tough to kind of do much when you're on bottom there. And that's a smart thing to do with short time. You scoop that back ankle, and typically aren't going to get a stall call there from Walt. And you get out of the period without giving up another takedown. Maldonado's going to go to the bottom position. He's going to work for an escape here and try to extend his lead and get back on his feet for a takedown. Levin goes to the bottom half of the body, which is an interesting thing with a guy like Maldonado, who you know is fast, you know is quick. And they're going to come out of bounds here and reset. You know, if a guy's going to come to my, bottom half of my body here, there you go. You want to get either your legs out, you want to kind of like do a changeover, hit a quick switch, clear your legs out. Nice job, patient, and gets to his feet there. He did everything right. So here we are back on our feet at 106 pounds in the second period. Maldonado 7, Ken Levin 2. Another great takedown attempt here up on a single. Steps over. That is a hard takedown. That is not fun. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe with a minute 15 he cuts him again here, and it's exactly what he's going to do. He didn't give the escape, though, so, he didn't create enough space for him, but trying to create some back points here. Oh, and he's out. He's coming right back. No escape. There's one. Does a nice job coming back around. Very aggressive. Out of bounds. This is a tough match for 11, but he's staying in there, and he's, hasn't really backed down yet, and still going after it. Nice little hazard attempt here. Builds the pocket. If he just elevates a little, maybe he'll be able to, that elevator leg is massively important for settling a guy down in a tilt. After, did a great job building that pocket, but you get those legs elevated, you're almost guaranteed a 5 count there for 3. So, here we go. He's working that head. 11 trying to get 2 hands on that wrist, put it back over his other side, but looks like he's got something potentially dangerous, and he does. It sounds like 11 might have been choking a little bit there. And they'll reset here. Second period, 15 seconds left. Little crotch lift. Brings him back to the mat. Short time. He's just going to hold him down here. 11 still working for that stand up. Just got to be careful that in that tripod position that he's not, forgetting about his head and his legs. And you don't want to get cradled. You want to get half there. He's going to go back on bottom here. And Boyertown was just talking to Maldonado and kind of gave him the choice. You want to cut him? Do you want to ride him? And, if you can build that type of confidence in your 6-pound freshman to kind of, hey, you choose your match here at District Duals, that's a big deal. And he's been in the driver's seat, and that's exactly what they let him do. And, I wouldn't be surprised if he might try to cut him again and go back to that. Beautiful job picking him up. Aggressive and vicious. Trying to get those legs in, those 2 legs, but Levin kind of keeping his hips tight and his legs together, making it hard. Another potentially dangerous across the throat. Better safe than sorry there, so they're going to reset them. Minute 18 left on the clock. I can imagine he might think about another cut and go here, try to go feet to back. Maldonado is riding tough here with 2 legs in. He's got a minute left on the clock to try to turn him here. I'm sure he wants this tech fall, so he's going to probably get after it here. Going to reset here. .35 seconds here, and he's got a lot of movement. Levin trying not to get taken down again. And underhook from Maldonado and back in on a takedown here. They've really worked that underhook well tonight. Takedown to a half, but, ran out of real estate, and they're going to reset. Another 2-point takedown there to end the period out. It's a few seconds left. He did a really nice job. Those takedowns were beautiful. Got a couple turns, and you can just see the aggressiveness that Maldonado have. He's going to be a beast next 4 years. Coming up to 113 pounds here. So far, we got Boyertown 19, Patriots 3. Got their 3 points at heavyweight out of Lafferty and a nice end to a match there. So for Great Valley, we have Gabe Stahl out of the gate, and Boyertown is sending Brendan Smith. So looks like they're sending Great Valley sending their normal Casey Capitola up to 120, and wrestling Stahl here to hopefully contest Smith. So see what happens here. Got an ear-to-ear tie. Whacks a headlock. That thing was out of this universe. He put him right on his back. I mean, that's textbook. So, he didn't set it up. It set it up for him. And unfortunately, didn't finish it right off the bat, but he's holding tough here. And Stahl's able to get through. I mean, he whacked that thing. There was a thud on that floor. Two legs in, and he's got a lot of time to work here. He's running a half with a leg, and both legs out, and his hips are pretty high. He sneaks them right back in. He felt that his hips were too far above Stahl's, and so he slips a leg back in to kind of make sure he doesn't get too far over top, and he has got a nice anchor there. Stahl's still working up. I mean, it's not easy when you're underneath of a tough competitor like Smith, and he's working to try to escape, and it's all you can really do at this point. Keep working, watch yourself, and here comes a power half. Gabe Stahl's a freshman. He's a 5-8 record right now, and you look at Boyertown's Brendan Smith, and he has been, wrestling a much different schedule than Stahl might have, and he's a freshman with a 6-10 record. But I'm sure those 6 wins came a little tougher. With the type of competition they're wrestling, especially in that Pac-10, which is still unbelievable. You have Springford as the number 1 seed. They're wrestling great right now. Methacton's a little down with injuries, but if they get that issue settled in a 6-pounder, they're going to be something to reckon with. And Boyertown, then you have your smaller schools like your Phoenixvilles that have some new coaches this year. So the Pac-10 is going to be good for a long time, and Pac-12, I guess now with Upper Marion and Norristown joining. And those are 2 programs that are hoping to build with. You got Harners at both schools right now, so probably entering that conference more for football than wrestling, but that conference is absolutely stacked, and I got a feeling it will be stacked for a very long time to come here, and it doesn't look like it's letting down anytime soon. You look at what O&J Roberts was able to accomplish tonight and what they've been accomplishing for many seasons, and between Springford, Boyertown, Methacton, O&J Roberts, it's just hammer, 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 hammer. And so it's tough to, that conference is a tough schedule. You don't get to pick that those are dual meets they have on their schedule every year, and you can see how it only makes each team better when they go wrestle each other. He's doing a nice job with some legs in here. But he spoke too soon because there's a reversal for Stahl. He was riding pretty well there for a long time until I spoke, so maybe I shouldn't compliment him anymore, and that wouldn't have happened. But we'll see how he responds here with 25. Plenty of time to get an escape or reversal and get back to a scoring position here for Smith. 10 seconds, and Stahl's still riding fairly decent here. We'll see. Gotta be careful with his hips. And out of bounds at the end of the period. Does a nice job riding out that period. It's 10-2 Smith going into the third period here. And it's Smith's call. I would be crazy if he wouldn't go to the bottom. And he does. He wants to get some work in here. Guess I was mistaken there. I thought it was Boyertown's call. I guess he chose top. Their coach is for point and bottom, and I thought that's what he called, but he ends up on top. There he goes. He throws that bar. He steps over. He's going to use his leg. Like, oh, man, he just loses it. A little more patience there and keeps it a little tighter, and that thing's to his back. Now, when you have a lot of clock, you really want to – you got to be a little patient turning, guys. You can't just rush everything. It'll be tighter, stronger if you just kind of wait a little bit. He's got 2 legs in. He's got a half. Wrenching on the neck here of Stahl. Still got 2 legs in. Ride, he's a little high, but not in any significant danger right now. Hasn't really turned him a whole lot, though, yet in this position, so let's see what he can do here. You know, I'm surprised referee has not called some sort of stalling yet because he's just kind of burying his head here on bottom. He's going side to side trying. There he goes. He's got to turn him over a little further. Suck him back here. Maybe take him to his other side of his body. Got to watch himself. But he comes back on top and gets that other leg back in. Short time here with 15 seconds left on the clock in the third period. It's on the mouth. Got to be careful there. Got to try to take him to one side or the other. You can't pull him back on your own body here. I'm sure they'll be back in the practice room working on that in no time. But, you know, he's able to ride him out. Get a 10-2 major decision for the Bears. Add to their already large lead as it's 23-3 Boyertown against the Great Valley Patriots here. We move on to 120 pounds. Great Valley is going to send Casey Capitola. Capitola's a sophomore, 26-20-6 record. I can tell you from watching that he has a Peterson, and he has caught some kids with it. Down in matches. For Boyertown, you have Chase Steeman. Steeman is a sophomore with a 12-8 varsity record this year, wrestling a little bit of 13-20 as well. Two technically 13-pounders going at it at 120, and Capitola's in on a leg early here, but Steeman's got the position, and he easily gets around. Capitola able to get his hips clear and escapes for one, but heavy on the head is Steeman, and he's just turned. Stamen, I am corrected. Stamen is able to keep his hands busy, and keep his feet moving and able to get around quite quickly. Does a nice job breaking him down. Goes for that old school kind of like snow plow move that, they put quite a bit of rules on in the past because of the pressure on the joint. Capitola's going to step back up here. Stamen breaks him down. A little chop and drive. Staying tough. Stamen just keeping his hips back and pressure on. And that's just smart wrestling. And like I said, Capitola's got a Peterson, but if you can't get your hips out and clearing around, then not going to do you a whole lot. He's got his hand underneath and a little ball and chain. See what he does with it. Maybe a Sherella tilt or, a little John Trent Jackson. They always like to come up the bucket there a little bit. Short time here on the clock in the first period, and they're out of bounds here with 9.5 seconds left on the clock. Stamen up 4-1 right now in the first period after two very nice takedowns. Little Butcher. See if he got any swipes. Looks like he got like a half of a one swipe there at the buzzer. But I love the way Stamen is staying aggressive. Even with 9 seconds left on the clock, he wanted to score some backs there, and I love seeing that. You get a kid who goes out there and wrestles every second off the clock. Doesn't matter if you got 10 seconds or a full minute or 2 minutes. He's gonna wrestle hard through the whole period, and I'm sure that's exactly what those coaches preach. And it's nice to see when a kid just keeps trying to get after it. Chooses bottom here in the second Stamen, and Capitola's trying to fire some different things off, but Stamen is tough, and he's going to get around here for the reversal. Back, he's got his two arms hooked. He's going to come back around, try to break him back down again. A little snowplow action. Casey Capitola's staying tough, though. I told you, he wanted to go for that Peterson. He's going to try for it. He didn't get it there. Stamen did a good job keeping his legs back. Just keeps breaking him down with that snowplow, keeping it tight. Got a minute left to go in the second period here. Not a whole lot of maybe scoring action so far, but, and he cuts him out. He wants to get to work on his feet. He wasn't getting anywhere on the top position and tries to keep his feet in here, recollects that single leg. Little wizard, and Capitola kind of circles him out of bounds there. So we're back to the center of the mat with 30 seconds left on the clock, and Stamen just cut him for an escape to try to get some offense back on his feet, and hopefully that correlates. A little lat drop, little throw by Capitola, but he's unable to get it. And Stamen is kind of in a holding pattern here because Capitola bending all sorts of weird. He's got looks like he has his arm over his other mouth. That's got to be two at any point here, and it is. And referee's count. We're going to get a 5 count here. Maybe a fall. No, he doesn't. Looks like we have 2 takedown, 3 back points, and an illegal headlock there. I'm sure it was just an accident, maybe slipped above the elbow, or he lost the arm, or sometimes, I should say below the elbow. Sometimes that happens, especially in that situation. You got 2 guys fighting there, and no big deal. He's still got a whole nother period to get the work here, and he's already up 11-3. So we got blood time here as they're just cleaning them up, and we'll be back to action here any second. Back to action, and sit out for a little switch here, but he left his arm back, and You can't do that against a kid like Stamen. You can't leave your arm back on a switch. It's going to get caught. Third period, Stamen chooses the bottom position. And more blood time as they're trying to fix up his bloody nose here. On the other mat, you have Hapro Horsham and Downingtown West. And West is up 41-20 right now on the other mat. So looks like they're rolling right now against the Hatters of Hapro Horsham. My proud alma mater. Coach Kaiser was with me on the last broadcast. You know, the biggest difference right now, and you see the schools like Downingtown West and Boyertown and Springford is off-season wrestling, and there is no joke when they say that summer wrestling makes winter champions. These kids are wrestling all over the country, all sorts of places, traveling distances just to practice, and when they hit the mat for their regular high school season, they are dominant. And, you know, as a high school coach myself, I preach it and try to take kids places. And, you know, you can't lead a horse to – you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink it. So you got to get kids to want to be there and buy in. And you can see that a lot of these schools' kids, it's just nonstop for them, and they have completely bought into this sport. And there's not another better sport to buy into than wrestling. We have another stoppage for blood here, and they're going to have to do something soon, maybe a little special magic stuff they have in their med kit to get that cauterized and stop bleeding. That's all you can do, that. Just keep talking about it. All right, so they just go with the full nose tape method, which I love. Whenever you got a kid bleeding out of their nose, just tape that whole thing up. He can't breathe, but he's got a minute and a half, so he's got a mouth for that, and he'll figure it out. Back to action here on top for Stamen. Capitola broken down here, and he's working underneath in a little ball and chain. Going to try to just lift that thing up, I think, and be aggressive about it. He's hooked that near arm, and like I said, he just lifts it up. Now he's going to try to use that to lead to something else, and a little cement mixer never hurt anybody. Throws in an arm bar, gets that one-on-one. Tripod position. trying to escape here, and he's going to cut him with 30 left on the clock. It's 14-4, and Capitola goes for the throw, and Stamen very easily counters. And not only does he pick up a takedown, but he gets a 2-point near fall there with short time, about 15 seconds left on the clock right now. And that'll just about do it for this match here. Stamen will win this match 18-4, adding another major decision for the Boyertown Bears, making it 27-3 going into 126 pounds. For Great Valley, you got Keith Thornton. Keith is a sophomore with 17-13 record. And then for Boyertown, you have Noah Fisher. Fisher's sophomore, 3-5, so limited, a little bit of a limited varsity schedule. But you know, when you're wrestling for Boyertown, and I'm sure he has plenty of JV matches that are just as good as a lot of these varsity ones. So trust me when I say he's probably well tested already. Not a whole lot of crazy action so far, but you know, both trying to feel each other out a little bit, and nice heavy hands there. Brings him to a front head and arm, but releases it pretty much as soon as he gets it. Thornton a little bit back on his heels a little bit. It can be very frustrating as an offensive wrestler when a guy continually backs up on you, but that's what the ref stall calls are for. Gets him underneath, goes to his knees a little too easily there, and Fisher able to spin behind pretty easy. So 2-0 Fisher in the first period with about 50 seconds left to go here. Could be looking to get some quick backs and go into the second period up with a decent build-up lead. A little short sit there for Keith. Another one again, trying to clear his hips so he can stand up. And Fisher just was running that high claw and finally collects that far arm and gets a cross wrist. Would expect a little hazard tilt here. Now he lets go and looking to go for a little bit of everything. A little cradle attempt, then he spirals him out and just trying to build up here. But Noah Fisher is wrestling tough in this position. He's got that cross wrist tight, and now he's coming through the bucket for a little ball and chain action. Let's see what he does with it. He changes hands. He's going to try to run his feet here, try to get that tilt, but Thornton looked in and put his arm up, and another 10 seconds, and that could have been game over. Thornton's going to defer here in the second period, and Fisher's going to take the bottom position. Still in control is Thornton as they reset out of bounds. Those were nice hips out of Fisher, and you know, Thornton's trying to stay hanging in there tight in a 2-0 match still. So comes up to that tripod position, right to a double, but Noah Fisher is wise to that game and able to get into a much better position. He's got that whizzer, and Thornton's holding on tight, but you got to be careful here as the man's still in control just to hang on to a single leg, and he comes up knowing that possibly could have turned into a stall call there, and 1-0 for Fisher. Snaps into the mat. Basic textbook snap block spin out of Fisher there, and he's up 5-0 right now against Thornton. Trying to see what kind of magic he can get on top here. I'll give it to Great Valley so far. They fought this entire match. I know it's 27-3, but man, they haven't quit. They haven't given up, and You come into District Duals at a 13th seed wrestling Boyertown, who past few years has been even higher than a 4 seed. There's a little intimidation factor there, and I'm sure this coaching staff has done a great job getting them battle tested and ready, and for them to understand that this is just a great opportunity to go out there and let it fly. Stall call on Boyertown. You got to watch how long you stay on your feet there. You don't want to stay on your feet too long, and referee Walt Cannon has been very consistent in the amount of time he's allowed people to stay on their feet without making an attempt. And I talked earlier that might have been a little quick, but when you're consistent, you're consistent. If that's your rule and you think that's time, then it's nice that he's kept it the same throughout this entire match on those stall calls. And, you can't, as a head coach, really complain about that when a referee stays consistent. You just need your wrestlers to learn and adapt to the way the referee's calling something. I wouldn't be shocked if they've not turned around and said, hey, those calls have been quick. You got to recognize that. Either make an attempt to mat return sooner or drop down to a single, or you can't stay there long, cut them and get back to work on your feet. Thornton's going to choose bottom here in the third period. He's down 5, and so far we've seen good things out of Fisher in the top position. He hasn't really turned him, but he's been really tough so far. So let's see if he can't find something in his playbook to get Thornton turned over here in the third period and rack up some points. He only needs a 5 count to make this a major right now. So I'm sure that's exactly where his mind's at. Trying to run that. Looks like a power half. Tough to see from this angle, but kind of comes out of it and going to recollect here. And if he gets frustrated, I would not be shocked if he cuts him and tries to go a little feet to back or something like that. Good motion out of Thornton there on bottom. And just like I said, I think Fisher had enough of not getting anywhere. And when you dive from that far out on a takedown attempt, you are 9 times out of 10 probably not going to get it unless you're a Darian Cruz. So Fisher going to try to start working for a takedown here with 50 seconds left in the third period at 126 pounds and extend the lead for Boyertown. He's been in the driver's seat the whole time, but you definitely don't want him to get off the gas pedal. And he looks a little frustrated right now, and he just pushes him out of bounds, going a little high-low and heavy hands action. Here he goes. Got that overhook. That throw is gorgeous. Little lateral drop there. And he is getting backs. And let's see if he can't get the fall. He steps over the hip, and that thing is nice. And he does. Collects it with 23 seconds left on the clock in the third period on. He set that thing up, and you knew that thing was coming, and it was spot on pretty. So here we go at 132 pounds after a fall for Fisher there. For Boyertown, you have Aiden Hager. We're going to find out who we got here for Great Valley at 132 pounds in just a second. I will let you know. Ryan Greiser's in for Great Valley. Ethan Seeley and DeSanta with a big pickup there with the names. They've been great all match so far. Greiser is a sophomore. He's 8-12. Quick takedown there for Hager, and he's got that half on that one-on-one on that. Nice job peeling it off, looking away. And I'll tell you what, Great Valley's done a really nice job and not being turned all that much so far. I know the score says 33-3, but if I'm Coach Seymour, I'm taking this as a stepping stone for the future and showing kids that, we can wrestle and keep getting better every year as we enter district duels. And hopefully that 33-3 score is closer and closer in the next few years, every year that they're in this position. And Dave Jones has to be happy that, first year for Boyertown, that's big shoes to fill. And his kids have looked tough. you can see they're running a lot of the same stuff, which shows that their consistency of teaching in the practice room and their transition in chain wrestling has been really nice so far. A little frustrating, I'm sure, on top for them, and I'm sure they'll get back to work in the room to fix some of those things up. But I mean, they look just great on their feet right now, almost unstoppable against Great Valley. So big things for Boyertown. There he goes, tries to roll through that tilt. Doesn't get to build the pocket. You need that break foot and that elevator. Build that pocket, stop his momentum and his hips from continuing to move. And we saw that earlier with West Chester Rustin, and they were able to do it pretty nicely. And you just got to keep working on building that pocket. And if you don't get it the first time, coming back the other way is a lot of times your best option, and just kind of popping your knee under and building that pocket real quick underneath him when he doesn't know you're coming the other way. He probably thinks you want to roll back through again, and now you're getting swipes on the other side. Greiser Renhager for about 30 seconds, but he cuts him. Comes to his feet, lets him go. And they'll be back here looking for takedowns, but far out shot from Hager. I mean, that was crazy distance. And like I said earlier, you're not going to score when you shoot that far out 9 times out of 10. Hager does a nice job just getting him extended and getting around. Looks like he's trying to lock up a cradle here, but he's got that ankle hooked, and he's trying to collect the head too at the same time. Still riding hard here on top is Hager, and he's not giving Greiser really any leeway to free his hips or try to get to his feet or anything. So not much happening here. Hard to talk when by yourself and there's not much action going on. I'm trying to do my best for you guys out there. It's just tough wrestling with short time left on the clock, and he rides out the rest of the period. Still 5-0. Greiser's going to go on his feet. Let's see what he does here. Let's see if he can close that gap a little bit on Greiser, not try to shoot so far out, especially on the Boyertown Bear. You're not going to get that shot a lot, so it's going to try to underhook, tries to whack a headlock, but flat hips go Hager, and that would be tough to score. So 2-point takedown extends the lead for Hager, 7-0 against Greiser. Won't be shocked if he tries to, either cut him, get the major, or really work for a turn here, but they're letting him dictate the match he wants, and he cuts him. And he's going to try to get to work on his feet. He's obviously shown he can hold him down. So one more takedown, and he claims that major decision. But we'll see. Looks like Greiser's giving him at least a battle here. Out of bounds. On their feet here still. Got 40 seconds left. Plenty of time to score. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to pick up a major here. Build his team even a further lead. And nice shot there. Very basic double and beautifully executed. And that locks up the major if he can hold him down here. So 20 seconds to hold Greiser and pick up another 4 points for your team is a big deal. So major decision for Hager at 132 pounds. That makes the score 37-3 Boyertown. And we head into 138 with senior Luke Wilson. Wilson is wrestling Ethan Himes. Couple shot attempts there. No go. Himes is a senior this year. He's 7-13, and I'm sure they want to get some of their guys some matches here in this match now that it's not really winnable anymore. So they send out Ethan Himes here to try to fight. Luke Wilson picks up that takedown though. 40 seconds about into the period. Wilson's a senior. He's 24-2 right now, and if you can win 24 matches at that point in the season already, you know what you're doing. And he's got that hammerlock on the back and goes to a claw. He's got that armbar in. Tries to run it, but Himes brings his hips the other way and does a good job defending it and not giving it up too easy, but I'm sure Wilson's not done yet. Gonna gets his hips in, but Wilson just drapes over top, and he's going to try to drag him out of bounds, and he does. He gets 2-point near fall there, and that'll extend his lead to 4-0. Wilson's still in control here. Got to be a little careful with his hips, but he's doing a great job. He's got that half and deep. Let's see if he can get that leg out and run towards the head, and he does. He just has to turn him. Himes looks like he's got a little funk to him. He's able to kind of contort his body and not give up much, and sometimes that's very helpful. Great Valley's going to defer to Boyertown in the second. Himes going to pick neutral. Gets the two, and he's going to pick up backs here by just keeping his hips smart, but Himes looks strong, and he's got his head on deep, but he lets go. Just sunk his hips there. Just let his hips go flat, put the weight back, and he wasn't able to get turned over by Himes, and he's going to pick up 3 near fall points after that takedown. Luke Wilson's got to be careful here. Watch his hips, and Himes able to come back on top. Look at, he almost had some sort of Peterson there and stayed with it, and snuck himself out to get the reversal. So it's 9-2 in the second period with about 45 seconds left. And you don't want to see Wilson just kind of go into coast mode because he's got the lead. You want to see him keep pushing the offense, and you can't stop with the Boyertown guys because they can score from anywhere. Cross-face attempt there. You see that cross-wrist, cross-face, side to side. I mean, They know what they're doing, so you can't just stop and put it in the coast. You got to be the driver. You got to be in control of your own match here against a Boyertown team. Doesn't clear his arm, so Himes is able to collect that arm, but he does a nice job and gets himself out there, Wilson. So we're on our feet here. It's 10-2 Wilson in the second period with short time, and let's see if he tries to get one more takedown. He does. He gets it on the leg. Got to keep your feet moving here. You keep your feet moving, you're scoring. Gets his feet around, but can't pop his head. I don't know. That might, and he does with point something left on the clock. He gets his head out. I'm gonna say 0.8. If you're on YouTube and you're watching, tell me if I'm right or wrong. But it looked like 0.8 seconds. He gets that 2 in the air. And does a nice job. And I just talked about staying in the driver's seat, staying offensive, and you pick up that 2 at the end of a period is huge, especially when you're prepping for the postseason. So Luke Wilson does a really nice job there. Luke's got to be careful here, but nice job. And he comes up, puts him on his back. He needs to kind of get his hips. There he goes. Get his hips kind of square the mat like that and lift the head and keep them in bounds here. And they're out. So, the new inbounds rules are a little weird. We talked about it earlier. Got to keep your knees in. It's something you never teach as a coach, to keep your knees down on the mat in a pinning situation, but Luke Wilson's able to pick up the tech fall in the third with, a minute 15 still left in the period. That's a big win for them. So they're going to pick up 5 points there. Makes it 37-8 in favor of Boyertown as we head into the 145-pound weight class. At 145 pounds, it looks like it's Brett Brider, and he's going to pick up a forfeit. So we move on to 152. And you have Nate Galella for the Great Valley Patriots. Palolella? Palolella. Looked like a D on my paper. Palolella. And you have Brock Babb for Boyertown. Brock Babb's a junior. He's 8-6 this year. And for Great Valley, big takedown there. You can feel that. He does a nice job. Paolala is a junior, and he's 5-16 this year. So, Babb gets right to work. Nice hard takedown to set the mood, so to speak, for his match, and he's got to be careful there. Got to stay in control. You don't want to get called for a slam, and that's just, would be no good for anybody. So, he's smart there, and he's trying to get that Turk leg in at some point, you can see, and just got to stay in control. If you're controlled there, you can very easily get that. Don't want to get too excited when you got a guy in the air. I know it's fun, but it's got to stay in control. It's working a half here on one side, and if you notice, he, when he's sitting out, he's off his knees and following behind him. Smart. Looks like not sure what, but he called an illegal move there somewhere. I might have missed it there. Wasn't paying as close attention as I should have. Babb's still in control here with short time left on the clock. I'm sure he'll ride him out here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him get to work here in the second period, trying to maybe take takedown cut. We'll see though. They like to get their offense going in that situation there, and they've been doing a fairly decent job at it. So getting them, wearing them down on their feet. So It'll be interesting to see what he chooses to do here in the second period. Great Valley's going to defer. I'm sure he's going on bottom, and he does. Quick reversal for Babb. And here he goes, back on that half. He's going to lift it and try to swing it. Old Gene Mills style. Claw. Maybe trying to like lift above the knee there, but he's just staying tough ride here. He's, I thought he might try to cut him and get aggressive on his feet since he's taken him down so many times already, but looks like he just wants to ride this one out so far, and we're only 45 seconds into it, so we still got time, but tries to pop him up into a tilt, and he's going to get at least two. And he does. He's just got to clear his arms there and show the ref unless he wants to go back to it for a full 5 count. And he does. He lets go, and he gets that 2 points. 6-1 right now for Babb. Got that cross wrist tight. Ripping the face. I love it. That's good, hard wrestling. He's got that ankle hooked, and he's just pulling them together right now. This will wear a guy down. It's only in the second period still, so he's got a lot of clock left to score a lot more points here, Brock Babb. Comes out front. Let's see what he tries to do here. Won't be surprised if he tries to throw some sort of cement mix for short time. It's a smart move. You can always come back around if you don't get it with short time left on the clock or stay in this position here. So not a bad idea for Brock Babb to try to go get that cement mixer with short time left on the clock. I'm sure that's something they work on in their practice room. Nate's going to go back to the bottom.
Hey, you got to move.
PIAA is going to try to start scoring here. It's only 6-1, but one wrestler's clearly been more dominant in the match so far, as Brock Babb has been a hammer on top without scoring a ton of back points yet. So we'll see. I mean, it does not look fun to beat Nate PIAA right now. He's tough on the neck, tough on the head. Does a nice job keeping that ankle hooked and pulling him into his body here, trying to get him over. Here he goes again. He's got the half and comes back around. Minutes up, a little under 50 seconds about, and 55 seconds, and I know it's might be a little weird on your clock, because they are moving a mat right now, and that's what you're seeing in their mat hoist. So I will keep you updated. We have about 40 seconds left in this match right now in the third period, and as you can see, the time is now completely blocked by the mat as it continues to lower, and surprisingly, we'll be able to see it in a couple seconds as the hoist continues to lower. 25 seconds left in this match, and Brock Babb isn't scoring a ton of back points right now, but he spent a lot of time in the top position, and referee stops the match. 1 point for an illegal move. Here we go, 15 seconds to go in the third period. And that's the match. 6-2 decision for Brock Babb, and he'll get 3 points for the Bears and extend their lead a little further. And We're at 160 pounds now, and we're coming to the last two bouts of the night here. Mortimer's going to pick up a forfeit. Doesn't look happy about it, but, you know, sometimes that's the shakes. He'll have another chance to wrestle here at District Duals, so it won't be his last opportunity. For Great Valley, you have senior Dylan Neal. Dylan Neal is 18-8 on the year. And for Boyertown, you have Jimmy Sinclair. That's a quick 2 for Neal. Does a nice job. A lot of early scoring, like right off the bat in the first period by a lot of Boyertown, but, you know, here's Great Valley getting right after it, right off the whistle. Shot attempt by Sinclair. Neal does a good job of trying to get his hips back. You want to try to push off that hip there. He's across the other side of the body, but he almost has it for a takedown there. They're back to their feet. Sinclair's a freshman. He is 3-7 this year, and he's a big body freshman, so that's nice for them to have. Neal's got to be careful there with a long guy and getting his head caught underneath in a front head and arm situation. Now, as I'm listening to Mike Seymour over the bench, you know, keep saying stay basic, and that's how you win matches a lot of times. It's just simple, basic wrestling, good technique. You don't need to do anything too crazy, and, you know, good stance, good position. You know, and you're in a collar tie. You're either clearing ties or you have the good head position. You know, on top, you're running basic stuff and not getting too carried away. Good setups, and that's how you win these matches a lot of times, especially tight ones. It's the guy who's in best position, and you know, like example here, you know, trying to get that leg back sooner and sprawling a little harder there would have been more beneficial, but he's got that whizzer in, and he does a good job clearing his leg out. So, I mean, that's basic wrestling, not single defense there for Neal. He wants to stay aggressive here and try to be the offensive wrestler and not let Sinclair in on his legs. He's going to defer Neal to Sinclair, who picks the bottom position. Got a minute 41 here. Left in the second period, and he's going to try that roll through tilt there, but nice cross clear out of Sinclair. Clear those hands back up to that tripod stand up. But Neal does a good job kind of spiraling him back to the mat there. Like, again, basic, nothing too crazy. Simple stuff he's learning every day in the practice room. He's trying that hazard from the standing position. Not super tough to get. You just gotta kind of go for it. Get that elbow inside his legs and have your head follow.
Pressure with your legs. Keep pressure with your legs. Tight waist the other way. Drive with your legs. Good. Don't let them up. Don't let them up. Chop. Good.
Sinclair did a good job kind of keeping his hands away, like Neal's hands away, getting to his feet, but he looks gassed right now. You went back to that mat way too easy. Half attempt by Neal to swing it. And he did it right. He came out front, blocked with his knee, tried to lift and swing, but Sinclair must be pretty strong to not let him do it. And, you know, I'm sure he's wrestling some strong kids every day, so no surprise there. Does a nice job collecting that wrist, brings him back to the mat pretty hard. His head hit pretty hard there. And we'll see. Keep yourself in good position here. Watch yourself getting too rolly for Neil on top. You don't want to get yourself in a bad position with a long kid. I would know, been there, had it happen to before. So you guys gotta be careful when you're wrestling someone who's a lot taller than you, and they're able to step over things a lot easier than what you're used to. So it's just about being smart and mat aware of those types of things, and having a coach kind of like in your ear, because you might not realize it, that you have to be careful in those positions. He's gonna go down here in the third period and try to work up here. Does a nice job right to his feet. He's got to stay offensive and aggressive if he wants to close this match out. You know, as coaches, we look for closers and guys who will dominate in the third period, even if they're up a couple points, and not just kind of put on the coast button. Might work in some matches, but as you get through the district, regional, state tournament, it's not going to work for long. You got to keep it going. Great shot attempt on that low single right to his feet, but stepped out of bounds a little too early there, and Sinclair kind of got lucky on that one. Good job, good reaction, snaps, kind of front head and arm. Out of bounds they go. 40 seconds off the clock so far in the last match of the night, and Sinclair looks like he's having a little trouble getting back to the center. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets hit with a stall call if he does that again. Looks gas. I don't know if he's just been wrestling or sucking weight, or just had too many matches recently, whatever it is. Sometimes it can be tough. So Neil needs to stay offensive. You see that. You need to get after a guy and start pushing it. You have a minute left. Create angles. Don't walk straight in. A lot of circling and heavy on the head. Try to create some more offense for yourself. That's when your feet stop moving. That's when the other guy starts scoring, and you can't have your feet be still. It's never a good position. Let's see what he does here. He's got him in the front end arm. Got him underneath his body, and Sinclair is long. 45 seconds left to go in this contest between Sinclair and Neil. See if he can close it out here. $30 to go. Good stance, good positions, huge. Keep moving your feet. Can't let a guy in too deep here. You got to keep your hips back. This is a good place to be careful. Oh, nice job. Just kind of shucks it on by and gets quick too there. Extends his lead 5-1. 11 seconds on the clock. We got 10 even, and Neil's in control. You're on top, and he doesn't. He forgets because he just got that takedown. So he's on top here, and could promise you he's probably going to come to that double inside thigh, probably that I've seen a lot tonight. There he goes. And then you rise up with him after you see what he does. And a lot of teams have been doing that tonight so far, and he's going to ride this one out for the victory. That'll end tonight's District Duels contest. Boyertown Bears 52, Great Valley Patriots 11. From all of us at District 1 Wrestling, we want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the sport of wrestling in Pennsylvania and in District 1, and we look forward to the next time we get to see you. Have a great night.